Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Board now back with Rachel McDonald. And this is just a quick special video, and that's because this past week, just a few days ago, the first trailer for the new Scream film was released online. So this is going to be Scream 5. For some reason, they're just calling it Scream, just trying to treat it as some sort of a reboot, but really it's a sequel, especially when you see the trailer. But we've got obviously the old faces back for this Scream movie, which comes out in January, so not too long to wait now. And it's from the Ready or Not people. So, Rachel, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought, okay, so I've been looking forward to this for a while. Obviously, when they started talking about doing Scream 5, I was apprehensive, but as soon as they got the big three back, because you have to have Sydney, Gale, and Dewey, they've kind of become staples at this point. And then when I heard that it was being done by the Ready or Not directors, because I actually really did enjoy that film, I thought that was very interesting. So when I watched the trailer, I think my first impression was this seems like it's going to be a bit darker than the previous films. There didn't seem to be as much humor in the trailer as we've got, Scream is kind of known for being a bit of a satire. And I felt that this trailer seemed a little bit darker. Like there were almost like we're kind of like, I don't know, Sydney and Dewey and Gale, they're getting to the end of the rope. It's getting to the point where it's just become so regular for them that it's just old hat. I have to say, I did quite like what it looks like they've done with Sydney's character in this. She seems to be, again, kind of moving on from the last movie, trying to live her life. When Dewey calls her and is all like, it's happening again, do you have a gun? And her response is, well, I'm Sydney Prescott, of course I have a gun. And I thought that was great. I like the look of Dewey and Gale. Dewey's obviously still in town. I did pick up that Dewey does not look like he's wearing a wedding ring. So it'll be interesting to see where they've decided to take Gale and Dewey's relationship. And then I thought it was interesting because I was watching a review of Scream 4 just the other day, and someone in the comments had said that they felt that with Scream 4 that they had tried to pass the torch to the new characters and then take it back and give it back to the old characters, and I kind of understand where they were coming from, whereas this looks like it actually is a new generation who are kind of being mentored by the older generation. And I did find that line from a trailer that someone dropped a line saying that the killers or the victims are related to the killers from the previous movies. And obviously we had shots off Stu's house, and we saw some showdowns go down in that set again. So it will be interesting to see what the tie-in will be. So I found the trailer interesting. I don't know if I got massively excited over it. It might just be that I'm a little bit wary. This is the first movie without Wes. This is, we haven't had a Scream movie in 10 years, and Scream 4 was not fantastic. So it will be interesting to see if this one is better than that or if it's kind of in the same boat. What were your thoughts when you watched the trailer?
Similar. I thought it was an okay trailer. I didn't really think of it maybe being a bit darker. Obviously, for the sort of thing they're going for, where it's maybe a passing of the torch to this newer generation, we all have to wait and see what happens in the movie. But I thought for that it was quite a standard trailer, but there was one or two good lines of dialogue. So okay for a first trailer. Obviously, I think the standard of modern trailers is pretty bad nowadays, and so it's a bit hard to grasp. In Scream 4, it looked a little bit like they were going to do the passing of the torch thing, and although we're obviously excited to see these characters back, I think there will come a point where they might have to at least kill one of them off, or at least make it so that to continue the franchise, we've got these wholesale changes. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, along the road, it might be harder to get these actors back anyway. So if this is a franchise which is going to continue after this movie, one day they might have to actually just start afresh with a new cast, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, like you, I was a bit uneasy about a Scream movie without Wes Craven. I think Kevin Williamson has any involvement in this.
No, I don't think he has. No,
not as far as I know, and he was obviously key as well. His script, so that it's going to be interesting. But like you, I did enjoy Ready or Not, and that was obviously a horror comedy as well. So they might be good fits for the Scream genre, the Scream franchise. We'll have to wait and see, but not a bad first trailer. It sort of had me slightly intrigued, I would say. So not too bad. Solid.
Yeah. I did like when Ghostface, and I don't know if this is a line that they just put in for the trailer or if it'll be in the movie, but when Ghostface was on the phone to Sydney and he said, "Hello, Sydney," and then the next line was, "It's an honor." I thought that was kind of cool, kind of showing the direction that obviously this killer maybe is connected to Sydney or has some sort of hero worship with Sydney or with the original killer. So I thought that was, like I said, I don't know if it's a line that they just put in for the trailer, because sometimes they do that. They record lines just for the trailer, but I thought that was kind of cool, kind of acknowledging her status, so to speak, because she's obviously quite infamous within the universe of Scream. I do kind of agree with what you're saying, that they'll probably kill off one of the main three. There is a shot in the trailer of Gale screaming, which I'm wondering if maybe is a reaction to Dewey's death. And on the one hand, I kind of understand that, like you said, if this is going to be a reboot for the franchise to then continue, obviously you need to pass it to a new generation of characters. But by the same token, I just kind of think these three characters are so iconic, and they have come back every single time. I mean, I don't think there's another franchise out there where characters have come back so consistently. You know, every single Scream movie has had Sydney, Gale, and Dewey. So it's like,
what you mean is when it comes to kind of characters that are essentially good guys, is what you mean, because obviously
that's what I meant. Not obviously villains, but I mean, when you look at like A Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, Nancy only came back for a couple of films. Even Laurie is only in, 4 of the Halloween films. So but Sydney, Gale, and Dewey, they have been in every single Scream film. They come back every single time. So it's like, it's almost like, I mean, Dewey has been stabbed how many times at this point? He's basically invincible, and Sydney herself. So, like, I do understand that they probably do need to kill one of them off. And on the other hand, I'm like, they're so iconic. You can't. Like, it could be very.
There's still money in the Scream franchise. I think that will play into their decision, because the studio will be nervous maybe about killing one of the established cast members off, just in case it has a bad reaction. But we'll see. So it comes out in January, which is an odd time actually for that sort of movie, because
it is, isn't it? That's usually like a summer blockbuster. It would be released in June or July, wouldn't it?
Or certainly May, certainly the middle of the year. But also there's just this thing about like horror-wise, you just tend to get a lot of crap dumped in January.
That's true.
Because in a way, it's a funny period, because you've still got holiday movies that are out and stuff. So I think January, because I remember going to see the last Grudge movie in January, and I mean that was absolutely terrible. So they do dump a lot of rubbish in. So it's an odd time for the next Scream movie, this big franchise. So I don't know if it's just because of certain things with COVID. Maybe there was just dates shifted around, or it could just be a coincidence. But it just seems like a funny time, and it's a bit risky. I think they could maybe not do as well as a result if there's still a lot of these holiday movies sticking around.
That's a fair point. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe they're banking on it being good enough, or maybe they're putting it in there just in case it bombs, so it'll just disappear into all the January films.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think because it's the first Scream in a decade, then you're going to have that anticipation. So, I mean, maybe they're banking on that as well.
Yeah.
It's a good time, actually, just to mention before we go, then Scream is going to be our next major franchise. So now that we're pretty much done with the Halloween franchise, for a year at least, then Scream's going to be our next major one. And you can look out for the first review of that in the coming weeks, the Scream 1. So look out for that. And we will be doing all 4 movies so far. possibly the TV show if we want to be like gluttons for punishment.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll see how much
torture.
we want to torture ourselves.
Yeah, but yeah, we're going to work our way up, and January is when Scream 5 comes out. So let us know your thoughts of this first trailer in the comments below, and we'll be back again soon. Like and subscribe. See you guys.